So what am I doing now? I'm going to prepare a salad and think of preparing a dinner. I don't really know what I want for dinner. So I just prepare the salad first usually. That's the easiest thing. You just really prepare the same things over and again. Not really a lot of thought to it. I could use like a lemon dressing or something, I don't know. Who I live with has prepared themselves a stew. I guess they're gonna have that for dinner. I have a choice of sausages. I kind of feel like a stir fry though. And we should have olives. No, we don't seem to have any olives. I think I've been moved somewhere. I'm over there, behind something. Great. This is a knife. This is some sort of grater. So the first thing I usually do is grate the cucumber. It's pretty easy to do. You just hold it out, you do a little thing, and repeat. So you just get little slivers of this. So you just repeat it, the whole thing. I was right about my assignment though. I only got to do one little portion of it today. I had to fill out these answers to these questions. So I had to like research and fill out the answers. And then after I had all the form filled out, I had to do it in a PowerPoint presentation, which took another long while to do. So I basically spent 4 or 5 hours on it. And then tomorrow I'm going to do the next segment. There's like 3 segments of it. I'm going to do the next segment. And the day after I'll probably do the last segment. And then I have to also tomorrow write to see if I can submit more than one assignment at a time, because my course is coming to a close within a few months and I want to get all these things marked. So I'm going to check that, because they've said no before. They've said no, you have to do one at a time. So I have to check to see if you can do that. It's tomato. And if you can, I'll just submit it by like the weekend or something. I don't know what day it is tomorrow. Thursday or Friday. That reminds me, I have to I'm going to put my health insurance on suspension for 12 months. Because I don't ever use it. The only thing I use it for is scripts, and at the moment it's really hard to find a doctor who's taking new patients. My old doctor closed their clinic and moved a long way away, so to where they were originally situated. So I'm without a doctor, and not many doctors are taking in new patients. So, and then the ones that are And then the ones that are taking in new patients aren't necessarily the best doctors in the world. So I'm going to try and treat my skin without medication. So far I'm not even sure if it's working, but I'm trying this skin cleanser stuff. I seem to have little dots all over me, so I've got heaps of scripts for like really expensive medications, so I have to just use them, I guess. Actually, I have to make sure when they're they should be okay for another 6 months. I only got them either at the end of last year or the beginning of this year, so. But yeah, I'm sure I could find a doctor there, but I'm thinking of like boycotting because I don't like some of the doctors. I find it hard to find which doctor's a good doctor. I mean, every doctor's a bit different, and I don't like the weird ones. Like, there's ones in the city that threatened me when I was like really young. And I was told not to go back there. Then we went to another one in the city, and they were racist and wouldn't treat me because of their racism issues. And then I went to another one, and they said they were an AIDS clinic, so a clinic specially designed for AIDS infected people. And they referred us to one clinic that's on the top of some building somewhere, and we went to like level 12 or something, and lo and behold there was like a clinic there, but yeah, I don't remember what it was, and I'd want to go to that one if I went to a place in the city. So, yeah. So there's just some issues that I went to, like, when I was younger, and I was like, in my teens, and I can imagine that they're still there, so, kind of makes me wish I were in Melbourne again, because I have my list of doctors, and I already found out the ones that are good and too bad, and the good ones seem to be a lasting clinic, so I'm thinking, oh, maybe I should move back there, because instead of, tossing and turning all over the place to find a good doctor and stuff. So, I was comfortable with my doctor, but now that they've gone, I've got to use like psychic divination to find another good doctor. So yeah, I think I'll just cancel that insurance, and that's it with doctors for a year. Some doctors just can't control themselves in many ways. There you go. So that was my making of salad. I'm just going to wash my hands, and then I'm going to think about dinner. So now what? Noodles? I think I feel like something like soy and honey noodles. I wonder what time it is. It's probably early. Yeah, I'm gonna probably prepare some honey and soy, so I'm gonna have to like take the camera away so I can use the timers. Use this pot for boiling the water. The water is for noodles. Yeah. That's all filled with water now. So talking about doctors, do you know which one in Melbourne is the most corrupt doctors that I found? Sweddens and Camberwell. It's like a huge super clinic, and then that was like the worst one I've ever been to. So I had to find a better one, and there's a better one like half a block away from that super clinic one. So I ended up going to like the better one. The bester one is on St Kilda Road. It's my normal one, but I was living further away and I couldn't be bothered going on the tram for it. So, but when I realised they were the overall better doctor, I just switched back to them. I also went to one on Pran, Chapel Street, and that was like a good doctor too. So. But the one in Camberwell, the super clinic, the new one, oh, it's terrible. That woman just wanted to do something mean to me. She like came out to blast me for being crazy about not wanting the medication she wanted me to have. And I said, well, I didn't want that one. I wanted a different one because the other one was working better on my skin at the time. And she's like, you're crazy, this is the best medication ever. And she's like, yeah, not really listening to me, like wanting to make an argument. And she was stopped from storming at me by another nurse or another clinic person. And then I was getting an apology, and I never went back. It was like the most disturbing thing ever. It was like the worst experience, and I was like, I don't want to feel like that. But the other two were okay. They're still there. So. But I think I've done myself a little bit of wrong moving here, because I keep feeling unwanted by the person who lives here. And I did drop a job for her to come up here, but I can't afford bloody top rent of $350. Even $300, I can't actually really afford that, because that's what I was being offered. And I need something more like $150, not $350. $200 is my limit. And then I tried $250, and I was like, I couldn't hardly find anything, nothing good, nothing with a laundry, eat my money, and not even have an enjoyable place to stay, So it made me very sad indeed. So I ended up moving up here. Biggest mistake in my life. I'm stuck up here with someone who doesn't even want me here. I lost the job in Melbourne that I was going to have. And I'm always in an unstable employment. I mean, it's good that I've gotten a couple of jobs while I've been here. It's grown my confidence and experience a little bit, but still, when you want to sort of live in Melbourne and you're stuck in a place like Brisbane, it sort of wishes you were in Melbourne having these same job opportunities, but they're only open to Brisbane residents, because they're not, except for one was interstate. But, yeah, so I'm sort of glad because I got more experience, but I'm also not glad because I want to move actually back to Melbourne to live sometime. I know it seems like really rough and dirty and stuff, but if you don't know anyone and you're not living with other people, it's okay. It has its perks, you know, socially. Everything's at a close distance, and once you realize there are okay people there, it's okay, but because it is a bit rough. I mean, it's got people with guns and cars poking guns at you, stalking you, trying to stalk you with knives. Someone tried to run me over with a motorcycle. They had people in cars driving through the city centres, hitting people with the cars until they got bumpers, which will stop the cars from being able to enter the pathways where people use. I've almost been attacked by the bums of the city, the people who are like religious and non-religious, and you know, some stores managers don't like me and stuff. I mean, there's a lot of things, but once you realize there are okay people that are in there, and it's actually pretty cushy when you get the money and get the support, you know, it's actually pretty cushy society in some way. It's got its good side. I just want to live there because I don't feel like Brisbane's a place where I should be living. Like my instincts are like saying, oh, I should get a really expensive place in Melbourne, and then you'll be okay. You know, there won't be any weird price hikes. You know, in your residence and you know, and you, as long as you get a house, you know, you won't be taunted by these door knockings, which I've been taunted by before. They're annoying. They're like 100% annoying. So, you know, this is part of like my multi-million-dollar daydream. So yeah. I mean, it is okay in some way, I guess, but I wasn't looking very good before I left. You know, I was looking kind of like I've been trodden on and downsized to a lot of stress, you know, and I've kind of been looking like, you know, some kind of mess. I wasn't really sure what they should be doing, but just didn't generally want to know anyone. But and I was only in that state because I was living with other people. You know, people got to me, they did something. I drank something, which, you know, got to me too, and was the reason propelling me from moving away and living by my own. When I was by my own, I was like harassed night and day with people knocking on my door and whatnot. I mean, I was showing a lot of wear and tear, which is which is good why I came up here, because I haven't been experiencing so much. I mean, when I first came, there was people knocking on the doors. Some people knocked and walked away. I think it was disturbing my mum for a little bit, but she was sort of excited too. She likes to have visitors. But they went away eventually. Like, they went away within a few weeks. And we really sometimes get someone knocking on the door, and they're usually pretty nice, actually. So we get a little bit of trouble, but not to the point of previous. So not like in Melbourne where everyone thinks, oh, they need to go with the flow and do something to their family. But saying that, my mother has been a little bit rough too. She's trying to make me leave at least 3 times. I just haven't left so far. But I probably will eventually. She said, oh yeah, you're going to be like, in one argument she was like, oh, you're going to be like here for another 6 months. You know, I've been here like 2.5 years. That would make it like 2 years. She She was showing complete intolerance in me staying there. And then she turned around and said, after talking to someone on the phone, she turned around and said, "Oh, you can stay." And I'm like, "Are you sure? Because you sound like you were like really wanting me to stay." I don't want to stay if you don't want me to stay. She said, "No, you can stay." I was just venting. And I was like, "Oh, okay." But if she vents anymore, I think I'll just move back down to Melbourne. I mean, I know it's not the best place, but and it's going to cost me a few $1,000s to move there. Unless, more opportunities open up, but, with all this corona stuff going on, I don't even know what I should be doing. They're telling you to stay at home. I want to work. I don't want to stay at home because I don't have a home yet. And I don't know what Melbourne's like, whether they've got like a more vicious ban than Brisbane, but so that's sort of disturbing me, not making me want to not move anywhere. But I would only move to Melbourne so that to resume life as it was, just by myself. I still don't have, and it would be like where I want to live, so if I get a job there, I'll be able to like just say, hey, I'm going to have money coming in to buy a house, one day. But the trouble with that is, it might take a long while to get a job and stuff, or, you might not be chosen for a job because I was late or something, but, I mean, I was sort of chosen for jobs every now and again, but I was kept on boycotting because I keep thinking it's a bit too rough in the jobs. I think if I just go for them, they might not be so rough, I don't know, but I don't know. I guess I'll stay here till the end of the year, and then I'll be like, or whenever my parent has the next turn of mental breakdown, I'll see where I'm getting my jobs. If I'm getting good employment here, I might. But then that comes up the subject of employment versus corona. I mean, what do you want? You want employment, but you don't want to face corona, so it's a little bit of a worry sort of thing. It's something you'd have to deal with, I guess. I still don't know what I'm doing. So I want to live there, I want to live here. If I get disturbed there again, I want to come back here, I guess. Because you're not so disturbed. But, I don't know. I used to live in New South Wales. I don't really think about going there because it's rural. It's the country, and I don't drive, so I never had a car, and I never had anyone to teach me because after I was 15, when I was 16, they wouldn't teach me. Right, I got taught a little bit when I was like 24 or 3 or something. Maybe 22. No, I think it was 21 to 22. I was taught a little bit eventually, but I didn't go very far because, eventually after a while, your parents don't actually want to teach you anything, so they want to work and do other stuff, so. And we also didn't have a car for a little while because their car, completely deteriorated. It sort of started to go wrong and continued going wrong until it was unroadworthy. So, and then they tried to buy another car, but I couldn't see because the other car was taller and I didn't like driving close to the curb, so to speak. So, because I couldn't actually see the lines of the road so well, and it just discouraged me. But in the end, they didn't have time to teach me anyway, so I just gave up on it all. Because you need to be taught Poland for like 6 months or something, you know, until you get all these hours, and you're like, unless you're lying, you know, you don't know how else to get the hours done. My parents are pretty old now. You know, they don't actually want to help you do stuff. They want to just lay around. No, they don't lay around. They work in business, but they don't want to have anything to do with you now. So all my time for learning is over. Looks like I'll be walking forever. Okay, I don't mind walking. I'll just crash a car anyway. And if I ever get like the finances for a car, I could always just take driving lessons later. I sort of know how to drive, but I don't really remember a lot. But I would probably crash a car because cars are hard to drive. You know, you push in a brake, it doesn't stop. So there goes the there goes the function value of a car, you know. Because half the time you're gliding along the road going, oh, is this going to stop before you reach the next car? It's like, only just, when I first learned that, you know, it only just stopped and before we got to the next car. But I think there's some trick to braking that I didn't know about, so... Like, I tried doing it slow, I tried doing it fast, you know, jabbed that gear to try and get the car to slow down, and just nothing worked, actually. So I found that kind of aspect of driving very scary. When you're just pushing on the brake, it's not stopping, it should be. But it could have been our car too, because it was like, it was breaking down. The second-hand car was, you know, on its way out. So, yeah. Could have been the car, I guess. I've had the volcanic noodles. It's the best. But do I want to live here forever? I don't think so. Like, it'd be really weird if I did stick up here because... But I'm having a better time. I must say I'm a little bit more relaxed. I'm not 100% relaxed. I need a noise-free house to be totally relaxed, but I do feel quite a bit better actually. I do have to remark. But this isn't my home. I can't live here forever, and I'm probably going to be chucked out by Christmas. You know, I'm like that, you know, that character in Simpsons that kind of stays in a family home forever. I think 2 years before they get chucked out. I'm sort of a little bit like that. I'm just staying where I'm kind of unwelcome, but they're still letting me stay on. One of these days I'm going to be chucked out. I have no idea which day it will be. Anyway, I gotta make dinner, so I better cut this video out. So I can do other stuff, so.